Welcome back to the Battle Camp. So before I get cracking on this bad boy, please can you subscribe to my channel? I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers before the end of March, so I need your help, assistance, your charity. So please hit the subscribe button. So this is a bit of UFC news, and I do MMA UFC videos from time to time. I'd probably say I'm more of a fan of mixed martial arts than I am of boxing, but that's got nothing to do with what I'm going to talk about now. So, this morning woke up and I saw some news. The UFC have announced an interim title fight between Max Blessed Holloway and Dustin Poirier at UFC 236 in April 13th to be precise. And the show's in Atlanta if you're in America and you're planning on going. But yeah, so the reason why I decided to make a video about this, because it's not unusual for the UFC to make an interim title fight. And on this occasion, it's warranted, given the fact that Khabib is suspended and he's decided that he's going to not fight until November because he's going to take the same suspension as his two mates during the Conor kerfuffle. So he's not fighting till November, so your champion's not available for basically the whole of this year. So it warrants an interim title being in circulation to keep the division moving. What I'm a little bit surprised about is the fact that who's fighting for the interim title. So it makes sense for Dustin Poirier. I always feel like I pronounce his name wrong for some reason. Dustin Poirier. Probably wrong, but anyway, he's a good fighter. He's been on a bit of a run at lightweight. He's beaten some good fighters, like he beat Dustin Gaethje, beat Pettis. Who else has he beaten recently? He's beaten some good guys, and he's probably on like a 4 or 5 fight win streak in the lightweight division. And then you got Max Holloway moving up, which that's the surprising part of all of this. Because obviously he's never had a fight at lightweight, and for him to get an interim title shot or a title shot makes sense because he's literally cleaned out the featherweight division. He's beaten everyone there is to beat. There's literally no one left in that division for him to fight, or there's no one in that division that kind of warrants a title shot against him at this stage. So it's interesting because obviously the elephant in the room is Tony Ferguson, champ shit only. I said only, I meant only. Tony Ferguson is the guy that should be the number one contender. So as good of a run that Dustin Poirier has been on, Tony Ferguson's run's been much better. He hasn't lost a fight in God knows how many years. He's on like I don't know, I want to say he's won more than 10 fights in a row, I want to say. I'm not sure. I really should have just got their records up in front of me. But Tony Ferguson is in my opinion, Tony Ferguson is the guy. He's the genuine number one contender, and by a long way. And according to Brett Okamoto, who's a journalist for ESPN, I saw a little video of his on Instagram. Apparently, the original offer of the fight was made to Tony Ferguson to fight Max Holloway for the interim title, and apparently Tony Ferguson turned it down. Now, Brett said that he reached out to Tony Ferguson and his team, and they said they're going to be making comment in due course. And I personally think that Tony Ferguson basically said that I don't want to fight for an interim title, because let's not forget he was already the interim champion. He had the interim title, and he got injured, and they stripped him of his interim title so they could make the Khabib and Al Quinta fight, which literally made no sense. It was just a way of putting the belt on Khabib for them to maneuver Khabib into a slot to fight Conor McGregor, basically. And I think there's a bad taste left in Tony Ferguson's mouth, and I'm speculating here, he might be injured or something like that, but I sincerely doubt it. I just think that he's basically said, no, I'm not fighting for an interim title. I don't see any value in it. I fought for one previously, and you guys stripped me of it, even though I got injured doing a press run for the UFC. I got injured in a Fox building. It's not like I was fucking training. It was during, I swore again. It was during the fight week. So I think that's what's happened, and obviously I don't have any information. I don't know any. Literally don't know anyone in the MMA world. I'm just speculating here. Um, but it was interesting that they tried to make the Tony Ferguson and Max Holloway fight initially for the interim title, and they totally looked. They just totally kind of overlooked Dustin Poirier, and this kind of makes sense because earlier on in the week I saw on Twitter Dustin Poirier said, "Oh, just release me now" or something like that. So he obviously caught wind of the fact that the UFC were trying to make the Tony Ferguson and Max Holloway fight, and he wasn't happy about it. And fair play to him because it's hard. It's a bit pill to swallow when Max Holloway's basically getting a title shot in a division that he's never fought in for the UFC anyway, and you've been on this crazy crazy winning streak, and you're just being totally overlooked. But the UFC do crazy things at crazy times. It literally, a lot of the things they do don't really make sense. It's not really based on merit. I just think that they felt that the Max Holloway Tony Ferguson fight would be bigger than the Dustin Poirier Tony Ferguson fight. But we ended up with neither, and we ended up with Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier. I'll do a video about the fight closer to the time, but at this very moment, I feel like Max Holloway is going to win. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. In fact, these two fought each other previously in the featherweight division when Dustin Poirier was a featherweight. And bear with me while I check this on the old Googles, because I can't remember who won that fight, to be honest. And this is going to be a little bit boring for you guys, but hold your fucking horse. Oh, I keep swearing, man. I'm trying not to swear on these, but I just can't help it. Alright, so we got... I'm looking at Max Holloway. He lost to Dustin Poirier. So they fought at UFC 143, which was in 2012. So this is going back a fair bit. And he lost to Dustin Poirier in a submission, a mounted triangle armbar. I don't remember this fight for the life of me. It was probably like an undercard fight on UFC 143. Oh shit, 143 was Diaz vs Condit, which was a good fight. Anyway, I should really look at this fight card in my own time and not bore you guys with me looking at this. But yeah, so there's history there. There's a bit of a story there with Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway. There's a lot of intrigue there because it's Max Holloway stepping up to the lightweight division. Let's see how he looks at the higher weight. Will his power carry through? Will he be able to kind of use his style effectively against Dustin Poirier at a heavier weight class? And when I say use his style, he tends to kind of crowd his opponent and kind of cut off the cage so effectively and throw kind of flurries of punches and really just kind of suffocate his opponent just by always being in his face. And will he be able to do that to Dustin Poirier at lightweight? Because Dustin Poirier hits hard, so will he be able to take those shots? Because Max Holloway, another thing about Max Holloway is he's got a really good chin, but that's at featherweight. Will that carry through to lightweight? But yeah, so this is just about this announcement for UFC 236. Did I say it was? Oh man, I should really record these with a laptop or something in front of me and some notes. But yeah, it's UFC 236. Let me know what you guys think. Who do you think should have been in this interim title? I mean, I think anyone that watches MMA or is a UFC fan or MMA fan or whatever you want to call it, or follows the sport, I think everyone, it's a general consensus that Tony Ferguson should be the number one contender. But like I said, I think that he didn't agree to fight for an interim title. But anyway, leave your comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Please hit the like button and please share this with a mate. And most importantly, please hit the subscribe button. I'll catch you later. Bye.